Good evening, everyone. Good Monday evening. Today is April the 12th, 2021, and I am going to be reviewing the Real Housewives of Atlanta last night's show. It was season 17, episode 13, and it was titled A Whole Lot of Mess. And when is it not a whole lot of mess, really? I have to just pause and say, I am just loving doing these videos. It's like the more I do, the more I love to do them. And I cannot even believe I like to do them because I really am quite shy. Even though I'm a talker and I can be quite direct sometimes, I'm a little introverted to some degree. I do promise you one thing. I'm working on getting a little more animated with my presentation here because it's so blasé. Even whenever I look at it and I see all of them together, I'm like, okay, there's me again, there's me again, there's me. It's just like, so bear with me, okay? On the other hand, please comment on this video as I go along, subscribe to it, give me a thumbs up, and click the notification bell. I'm pre-recording these, and eventually I want to be able to do some live. So I want to have enough subscribers so that people can come on and give their input and talk about whatever it is that they want to talk about here. Also, as you know, I am following the George Floyd case. I will also be putting a video out about that this evening. So I'm going to be up pretty late. You wouldn't believe how many edits I go through, and it still just is, It's like every time you edit, you always are going to find something. So at some point, you just have to say, hey, let it go. Let it go. I also like keeping the notes better on my phone than I do, writing them down because they're easier to see. And I do wear glasses. And sometimes I wear my contact reading glasses over my contacts. So that helps me to see better because I'm blind as a bat. So I want to talk about the opening. Last night they had the Blaze opening, and the food, while it looked delectable, it looked like such an overabundance. I think it could have been smaller in terms of proportions. However, she might have done that just because she was just having a tasting for her friends, but it looked like way more than a tasting to me. It looked really good though, especially the lobster. So I'm thinking, oh my goodness, that's like 2 trips I got to take now. So at any rate, Porsha and Marlo kind of have a little face-off. Porsha, you can read how she is thinking and what she is feeling all over her face. She was giving Marlo the look. So when she finally made that comment, oh yeah, I meant to ask you about your back. That was Porsha shade all day long. Marlo, it appears, did have liposuction. And I don't know why she's so embarrassed about that. Everyone goes through, some kind of change, when they're in that business, in that industry. They have lipo, they have facelifts, they do Botox, they have nose jobs. I don't know why people don't just say, I wasn't pleased with myself, so I did a little bit of work here. And so, it's nothing wrong with that, Just get a good doctor. Just get a good doctor because surgery is dangerous. That's why they sedate you. They sedate you so you don't feel it, but you are actually feeling it. You're just sedated. So anyway, I digress on that. So I want to know where they are getting their mask. Did you see those masks they're wearing? Especially the one Marlo had on. I was like, I need to get in touch with Shamia somehow so that I can get me one of those blinged out masks. And they look like quality masks because I know the ones, not masks, but the face shields. I know the face shields that I have been buying. I mean, if you breathe hard enough, they crack. They fog up. You can't keep them clean. They're not resistant. They're not like, shiny resistant, whatever it's called. At any rate, I really like their mask. Let's see here. So Kenya leaves that party earlier. She leaves because Mark is in town, and she seems really quite frazzled by him being there, and that lets me know she still has some kind of feelings for him. And you guys, I mean, I know people are telling her, oh, okay, you need to get over it. You know, he wasn't that good to you, and all of those things are true. But sometimes when people are in love, they have to work it out within themselves. They really do. And you don't want him to hit rock bottom. Like, you don't want him to do anything worse, because he's already done the ultimate. Anytime a man disrespects you in the presence of even one or two people, let alone over a million, it means he is not interested in you. When a man is interested in a woman, he is not going to disrespect her in the presence of a million people. Because men, like women, they don't mind telling you how they feel about you. When push comes to shove, when he's backed up against the wall, he's going to tell you how he feels about you. Mark ain't never done that for Kenya. Never. And why she is, 50 years old and doesn't know what to expect out of men? I mean, I'm like, she really could not have had that many experiences with men, you guys. There's no way she could have had that many experiences with men. Because you would know how they think. You would know that they will go over and above to show their love for you to the best of what they can do. He's not even doing the best that he can do. And then it's so weird, because as soon, and we'll see this next week, as soon as she thinks that things are going to be okay with him and her, she says that out loud on air. And then the next thing you know, we're hearing about him doing the opposite or something negative. So you have to wonder, is she telling the truth about it, or is she trying to cover up something? You know, is she trying to cover up her feelings? And here, I want her to accept it for what it's worth, and just kind of be in her feelings and go somewhere and scream and cry and talk to God. And you guys, if you don't believe in God, too bad. I do. I'm a strong, fervent believer in God. Okay, so, and yes, he is the healer of all things. And sometimes it feels like he's not going to heal us, but eventually he does. And when he does, it's just like that. And it's so quickly, you're like, I can't even believe I felt that way. You know, can't even believe I did that. So I just want her to go somewhere and scream and just cry out in prayer to the Lord, and just ask him to relinquish those feelings from her so that she can get beyond it and move on with her life. Okay, so I digress on that as well. That was my Kenya moment. Let's see. It was so funny also at the dinner. Miss Nora has a thing for Drew's husband, Ralph. Ralph is very good looking. And even though we don't like what he did to his wife by going to Tampa for 3 days and not telling her. And some people on YouTube, I've heard say that they don't believe that he was in Tampa for 3 days, and that they believe that this was a storyline that they concocted to make their lives more interesting. And I don't know what to believe. I don't know those people, but at any rate, I'm going to play it out the way the show has played it out. And Ralph is a player if he's trying to go away for 3 days and not tell his wife, you know. But anyway, Miss Nora has a thing for him. Had her hands all up on him, and she was loving just flirting with him. And so that was kind of cute there at the table. So I want to move on and talk about Drew, because Drew at one point is having a conversation with Ralph, and she's having a conversation with him about Toya. She says that she doesn't want the prophet to christen her baby now, or to be at her baby's christening, because she thinks that the prophet has had something for Toya. And then she goes on to say that one of her reasonings behind it, because at first it comes across quite spiritual, like she has a spiritual reason for not wanting him to be with Toya. But then we find out that it's simply because he has some fiance somewhere who he also has gotten pregnant out of wedlock, or either they had a baby out of wedlock. There's nothing spiritual about that. If this person calls himself a prophet and they're going around here being sexually immoral, they are not a prophet. They are not a prophet. Let's be real clear about that, Drew. Okay? So for you to be upset with him about being with Toya just because you think she's breaking up some family somewhere that he really doesn't have, because he's not married to anyone. He just has a baby outside of being married. And so I just think that in that respect, Drew's morals seem a little imbalanced and out of place. Because if you're going to be mad at Toya, you need to be mad at him. At any rate, let's see here. Cynthia and Porsha have a pop-up shop for Black-owned businesses during the pandemic. They want to help Black-owned businesses raise money, and I thought that was a really great idea. And it was also a good way for Cynthia to keep her wine cellar out there, as well, as we saw that being advertised on the show last night. And at this event, Drew actually brings up this issue with the prophet to Toya when Toya walks in. And Candy had already prepared Toya for it. So I thought that was a good friend, the fact that Candy prepared Toya so she wasn't completely caught off guard. But Drew, I don't know if I want to say she's messy. I think she's trying to create storylines. I think she has it out for Toya as well. Toya is a very pretty girl, and I think actually she is prettier than Drew. And Drew may have some jealousy against Toya, or maybe not. Maybe it's not jealousy. Maybe she doesn't like Toya because the way Toya came at her in the beginning when they first met. Remember Toya was talking about her wigs and her appearance, and no one wants to be knocked for their appearance. That's not nice. So anyway, we will also see them, get into a little bit of an altercation next week in that episode. Next week is the final episode of season 13, episode 18. And then after that, we will have the reunion from the Real Housewives. But that's really pretty much all I got. I know at the end, Kenya has had a breast reduction, and she had a little special thing at her home. And I don't know what's going on with Kenya. She's a horrible hostess. Can we get some hors d'oeuvres? Can I get a hot dog on a stick or something? It's like, first in South Carolina, she didn't have any food. And now at her home, she didn't have any food. I'm going, what is going on? No one wants to show up your home and, you don't have any food or drinks. She did have some drinks for them. But still, people want a snack. You have all those people over your house and you don't have anything. That's just, why are you even having them? But that's pretty much it. I may have missed some pointers. It's been a busy day. And the Real Housewives of Atlanta, it's been a tough season for them. I think that they kind of picked it up a little bit here at the end, but it's been a little bit tough for them. And I know a lot of people want them to bring back Nene. I'm not for bringing back Nene. At some point in life, you have to make plans to move on. If you've been in any one place literally for like 5 years, you need to really start examining, okay, maybe I'll do 5 more. But after 10 years, you need to step on out and do something else. And Nene had, she's done her time there. It was time for her to move on. And I'm just not for bringing her back. At one point, I was for bringing Phaedra back, but I'm only for bringing Phaedra back if you bring back Apollo and his current girlfriend, because I want to see that interaction. I want to see how they are with their kids in terms of co-parenting. I want to see how Phaedra is with Apollo's new woman and vice versa. And who else would I not bring back? Sheree. I wouldn't bring back Sheree. I just thought in that first season, when she left Nene off of that list, I think that spoke volumes about her. And then moving forward, I don't think Sheree is a person who has really grown. Like, I have not seen her grow on the show the way I have seen some other people. And Kenya, I have not really seen grow either. In fact, the only people who have really grown on the show have been Candy, and she's actually grown into almost pure boredom. And Porsha. Porsha has made a lot of waves on the show. She's grown a lot. I like her. I want her to move on to bigger and better things, though. I think that this show has had its run with her in terms of what she can bring. I give her like maybe one more season, 1 to 2, maybe 2, but it's time for her to move on. And Cynthia, I mean, do something with the wine cellar. You and Mike come up with some ideas. You, Mike, and the girls, and all of you all try to get a reality show, see how that goes. Something, but Cynthia cannot do another season here at all. I mean, watching her and Mike get on the scale about their weight and then throw the scale. What was that really? Who cares? Anyway, that's all I have for now. I'm going to do something more serious. I'm going to go ahead and take care of the George Floyd issue, because there's some things that happened today that pissed me off. Okay? Pissed me off as an old school black girl. So, black woman. But thanks for listening to me. Remember to comment, give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and click the notification bell. And I'll see you in the next one. Look at some of my other videos. Let me know what you think about them. Have a good night. Bye-bye.